Hey everybody, Lindsay Babooter here, and today I'm making creamy, dreamy cannellini dip. It's delicious and it's a great twist on the normal bean dips that you see at parties. And what I'm using to make it so creamy would be the Philadelphia cream cheese garden vegetable flavor. It's delicious and it has carrots and green pepper and onion and a whole bunch of good stuff in there, and it really makes a creamy dip. And also, our other secret ingredient is bacon, because what doesn't taste good without bacon? So let me show you what I've done so far. So I started out with some bacon, and the recipe calls for 4 strips. I went ahead and I cooked 5 because I know I like to snack, and by the time I add my 4 strips to my dip at the end, I go, this doesn't really look like enough. That's because I've eaten half of it. So I cooked up 5 for a little snacking, but that's over here draining right now. And then right in the pan after that, I put some minced shallot and some finely grated carrot. And so that's been in there for just a second, getting warmed through. It doesn't really need to cook that long through before we add the beans, because the carrot is so finely grated that it cooks through pretty quick. Next are the cannellini beans. This is 2 cans of cannellini beans, and I drained them, but I didn't rinse them, so they still have a little bit of liquid on them, which is going to help to add creaminess to the dip, along with the Philadelphia cream cheese. So just a really quick drain, and that's going to keep some of the liquid on. So all of that goes in to the pan, along with some fresh chopped rosemary. So between the rosemary and the bacon tonight, our house smells delicious. So I'm hoping that the smell will keep up right when we go to bed, so it's still wafting upstairs so I can smell that. It's just so delicious. Lots of fresh pepper and just a little bit of salt goes in there. Combining all of that. This is different than your normal taco bean dip that you might have at a party, and it's different than hummus. It's kind of like a take on hummus. My husband and my daughter love hummus, eat it all the time, so I make quite a bit of it. So this is something that I was thinking is just a little bit different than hummus, but still really delicious. So I've got my beans in here working, and I'm just going to cook those over medium heat for just a little bit so that they blend up really nicely in the food processor. So I'll catch you back here in just a minute. My beans have been simmering here in the pot for a little while, so I'm ready to put them in the food processor. There's rosemary, salt, and pepper in here, and in my food processor I have 8 ounces of Philadelphia garden vegetable cream cheese. So into the food processor, I'm not going to put all of the beans. I'm going to put a little more than half of the beans in there. That way when I mix them together, there'll still be a little bit of chunkiness to the dip, and I kind of like that for dips instead of just super liquidy in there. So that's all in there right now, the cream cheese and the beans. And so now the trick is to use the food processor without waking up the baby. So hopefully this will be nice and quick. Okay, so taking a look, oh, it's so thick and creamy and delicious already. Smells amazing. So I'm just going to put the processed part back in. Better take the blade out. The processed is going back in with the beans that are still whole. So it'll be a nice texture to the dip. It's still very creamy, but there's definitely a little bit of bite to it as well. So stirring it all up and combining. It really does smell so amazing. All right. There we go. And bowl here. Okay, so here's the dip, and then my favorite part, which is adding all of that yummy crumbled bacon, which I must admit I still did end up snacking, so I probably still snacked too much. There might not be enough, but that's all right. It's still quite a bit on there. It's absolutely delicious. Creamy, dreamy cannellini dip. You must try this. And you can eat it with anything, crackers, vegetable sticks. We like tortilla chips in my house, so that's what I'm going to use. But next time you need to make a dip for a party and you want to try a bean dip, instead of going taco dip or hummus, try the creamy, dreamy cannellini dip. It's a can't miss. Have a good night.